Learning affects emotions. So this is different. Could it be that in my case or in someone else's case, I struggled to learn because my working memory was weak, which affected my executive function, which then affected my emotional well-being and my overall ability to learn effectively? So could the first domino be a cognitive one that affects my emotions? And if so, now you inherit me as your student. I'm a freshman at the University of Toronto. You have this broken learner. We're all broken learners. What do you do to support my success in your class? Can cognition be targeted? Can you improve my ability to learn? And is that even your role? You're a professor.
Yeah, well, from my perspective, absolutely, we can have this kind of domino effect, and absolutely emotion is critical to learning. To a lot of students, they almost see it as a competitive endeavor where they're competing with their fellow students. And so, yeah, if for some reason, be it working memory capacity or whatnot, they start to feel like they're not keeping up, then that's going to put them into this sort of mindset of anxiety and such, which is just going to get in the way of the learning for sure. So we need to do what we can, as I was saying in the chat, to try to make that place feel as safe as possible. And we need to work in what Vygotsky would call that zone of proximal development, trying to convince students that it's not about being the best student in the class. It's about personal improvement, personal best, like we do. You want to get to the Olympics? Don't worry about the other athletes. Worry about yourself, worry about trying to get continually better, and the rest, the competition will take care of itself. So, very much trying to encourage students to embrace the learning and to be able to kind of document every now and then, hey, look, you did this activity. Your original draft wasn't very good, but after you went through a learning process, you produced something a lot better. Look at that. That's evidence that you're doing well, and this is a good process for you. So I think we do need to provide that emotional support. It's hard as a teacher. We have to do so many things, but I think one of the core things we want to do is to create this vibe where we really do embrace the growth of the students. I'm almost feeling like I'm going to get into the growth mindset stuff without getting into it, but where, that's what's important to us, not what grade they get.
Sure.
It's about challenging themselves and doing better.
You have a level of information about how students learn that most teachers don't have. And that benefits you. And you're also trained as a scientist to be able to test what works and to modify accordingly and generate evidence of my success learning in your class. Can you give us some concrete examples of how you actually develop cognitive skills? What cognitive skills do you develop? Just to give context here, your class is so popular at the University of Toronto that I think you have thousands of people enrolling. Technology had to be built. How do you keep my learning successful if I'm one of 2,000? What do you do? I know you run the Center for Advanced Technology and Learning. Can you give us some examples of how that happens?
Sure. So let me go into my pet issue, which is the skills gap issue, where employers are asking for graduates that come that are able to solve problems and give oral presentations and collaborate well and communicate well. And when they get our graduates from university, they're sometimes disappointed and reflecting back to us, we wish you guys could do that better. And I personally think these skills, be they critical thought, creative thought, communication, that they are at least as important for our students' eventual success, if not more important than the information they learn. So I want them to learn the skills, but unlike information, you only develop skills through repeated structured practice. So this is the cognitive science coming in, where our skill system is very different from our information system. And so what I do with students is, first of all, share the cognitive science with them. I share with them the fact that these skills are going to be critical to your success. I use funny stories like critical thinking will help you get a good job. It'll also help you pick a good life partner. And that's kind of important to your success in life. And so these are skills that will help you succeed. I expose them to the literature saying, you need to practice, and you need to practice in a feedback-rich environment. And then, we've created a technology that specifically allows them to get that practice by doing things like peer assessing each other's work, but en masse. Like you give feedback to 6 students, and we really structure the process, scaffold it, if you will, with micro learning resources to kind of help the student really understand what we're asking them to do. And then they do it to the first peer's work, second, third, fourth, fifth, so they get that repeated practice. And then eventually they move to a step where they're practicing learning from the feedback they received, literally that sort of growth process. Can you take constructive feedback and get past the fight or flight reflex? Because when people criticize us, we don't want to listen to them. We have to teach students that this is the natural reaction and how to get around that. And then we put them through that experience. So the short answer is, A, give them a really rich experience that's science-based, but B, perhaps as important, explain all this to them ahead of time, get their buy-in through understanding. And when they're buying in with you, then everything gets easy. And what by the buy-in, by the way, you're also communicating to them, I'm not making you do this just for no reason. I care about your success. And this is the path I'm taking to try to help you reach that success. And when they see that caring mixed with the intelligent reaction to how to do that, they tend to buy in and things go really smoothly.